Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now, I don't know if Poland or the Polish people and their democratically elected leaders, the government will celebrate this piece of news, because I'm not certain if they are for it or against it. As you know, the Poland was one of the biggest. Should I be nice or should I be straight? I want to be straight. The biggest and the loudest, mouthpiece of the Americans in this war. That was the direct thing. The sugar-coated is the biggest supporters of the right of the Ukrainian people to fight for freedom and defend themselves. Okay, now, all right, I got this article here, enough with the bullshit. So here, this comes from Sputnik. So right here, Sputnik, it is from today, March 9th, 2023. And this is what this title says, or subtitle, from 8 hours ago. Construction of military center in Ukraine drags Warsaw into conflict. Moscow says that. By building a military center in Ukraine, Warsaw wants to deploy its infrastructure to increase the size of its group. The construction of such a center will draw Poland into the conflict, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said on Thursday, which is today. And I'm quoting again. Obviously, we are talking about Warsaw's intention to deploy its infrastructure to increase the Polish grouping, previously announced as the Polish Volunteer Legion, which will be located on the basis of the center in Ukraine. And quote, she said during a briefing. The fact that this is fraught with direct involvement of Poland in the Ukrainian conflict does not bother anyone in Warsaw, let alone in Kiev, Zakharova said. So I'm quoting here. The fact that this is fraught with direct involvement of Poland in the Ukraine conflict does not bother anyone in Warsaw, let alone in Kiev, end quote, Zakharova said. So the thing here, Ms. Zakharova, which I like a lot, is that if you don't like the term, they can change it, and they don't have to call it a Poland Center or something. They can call it, I don't know, Love Wigwams or something like that. It doesn't really matter the term, the semantics, what these guys are using, euphemisms. The same with when you say the Polish Legion, Volunteer Legion, that's a euphemism. I don't have evidence, but I have a gut feeling, and I think I'm entitled to have gut feelings. I mean, half of the world population is entitled to have at least half gut feelings. I mean, can't I? I think I can. I mean, or anyway. So we have here this center, and we have the volunteers. I do not think that those volunteers that are over there are volunteers in a way that, I'm just going to pick my gun and I'm going to go and fight for freedom, democracy, love, and the evil against evil Russians. I suspect that a lot of these guys are military personnel of the regular or special forces or something like that of Poland. I don't have evidence, but I can have feelings. And feelings being subjective and not based on reality, sue me. So, and why do I say that? Because I base that on experience, on intelligence, on patterns, previous historical events, previous wars, and if you read about them, you're going to find out that, all these, military advisors are actually active combatants. But not all of them. I say all of them? Hey. Okay, not all of them, but they could be. And the clearest example that I can always use is in Vietnam. In this case, we have, I don't know if it was Korea as well, but Korea, it didn't matter at that point anyway. You had also in Georgia, with Saakashvili, you got a lot of foreign NATO military advisors to advise them to be punched in the face in South Ossetia, which they were. And they said, well, the Russians responded disproportionately. Disproportionately? And Putin said in one of his interviews, so what did they expect us to do? They attacked South Ossetia with tanks, airplanes, artillery, and what? He said. Were we supposed to answer with slingshots or something? No, he said, we got them a bloody nose. All right, well, whatever, actions have consequences. So let's go back to Poland. Not only Poland. Poland already sent, or will send, is about to send, so the green light is there, to send some MiG-29s from its stocks. Not all of them. And in return, they receive, or they expect to receive, Americans and Polish people will pay, because those F-16s or whatever they will be going to protect them from a nuclear bomb. So it's okay. They can do whatever they want. It's, as I said, it's a country's interest to do, to act in a foreign policy however it feels. The problem is there are consequences, and the Poles know that the Russians don't really like them, and the Russians also know that that's it's a reciprocal feeling. The Poles don't really like them, so I don't know if the Russians will have a lot of patience with these guys, and at one point will go ballistic, if you know what I mean. But I hope it doesn't happen. As of now, remember the Poles had in Ukraine the so-called demining operation. So I think they have about 200, a group of 200 or about 200 Polish military, not volunteers, militaries, but they were just engaged in demining. So they were like, beep, beep, it's a mine here. Scoop it out, yeah, okay. So that's what they did, which is very possible, but on top of those, let's say 200, you got like 300 more. They were located there and there and there. That's what they all do. It's just that you don't find about it now. You're going to find it by, I don't know, 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Depends if we're still alive by then. And you're going to find out when they allow us to find out. Because even if someone finds out and it releases that somewhere, I don't know, in Israel or wherever where that person will feel comfortable, it's not going to be catch legs. You're not going to get legs. You're not going to hear from it. These guys are not going to do it. The other guys are not going to do it. And wherever you're going to hear from it, you're going to have the other megaphone of the mainstream mass media, which works for these guys. They would you're not going to hear what these guys are squeaking. You're going to hear the mass media, like with the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipe attacks right now, sabotage. Seymour Hersh came with his article. Mass media was like, do you hear anything? Nah. These guys, the US intelligence, came with their little freaking story. Or anyway, what it was. And all the mass media picked it. And it's over and over and over again. When I check the news, you always see like 3 or 4 articles about that. First, the source is US intelligence, anonymous. So I don't care about anonymous, I care about US intelligence. When you say United States intelligence or UK intelligence, they blew it very well in Iraq for me. Like there was the final countdown. Europe, it's the final countdown, the same here. They lit up for me forever. Not that I trust them, because I knew that you don't trust, because I know how it works. You just have to get a little bit of information and find out what the intelligence community is really doing. They have different departments, and those departments have different tasks. And one of them is informing the public with this in front of informing. Thank you very much for being, and not only the public, but the enemy as well. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart. What do you think the Russians will do? Do you think they're going to do anything about it? If they say, okay, the Poles will be the ones that they're now involved, do you think the Russians will blow them up? Like attack Poland? I don't think so. I don't think so, but probably that will have like a blank check for the Russians to say, see, you are active, so whenever we feel like, or when we get cornered, we're going to say, hey, let's get the folder out. See, we can't hit you now. And the Poles says, oh, what, are you going to hit us? Yeah, boom, bomb, and that's it. We'll find out, right? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.